Pastor Doing Stuff. And today we learn how to do something and address a dilemma that every parent must deal with at some point. How to curse around children. You can hear mine in the background. Now I remember being a 5-year-old. I remember as a 5-year-old kid running around outside yelling and screaming a word that I had heard but I didn't know the meaning to. And then later that day, my mother sat me down in a room in the house that we never used except for serious things. And she said, "John, you know the letter F, right? Well, you shouldn't say any words that start with that letter." I was very confused. So I said, "Well, what if there's a fire in the house? Can I not yell out, 'Fire?'" And my mother replied, "Yes, you can say that, but nothing else." And then I said, "Does that mean I can't call anyone my friend anymore?" Exasperated, my mother finally said, "Okay, you can say all the words that start with the letter F, except the ones you don't know the meaning to." That at least made sense to me, but I left thinking, why would I say a word that I don't know the meaning of? I was a kid. I had already forgotten what had happened earlier that day. But when I became a teenager, I remembered that episode, and I started realizing that one day I might become a parent and my kids would run around yelling out obscenities that they had heard from me, and that terrified me. This is a real fear many parents have, and perhaps even a real problem you're already dealing with. And it gets to the core of parenting. What do we want our kids to learn from us? That is literally a life-altering question. Now, luckily for you, I, as the holy pastor, have come up with 2 solutions of how to curse around children the holy way, because I do the same stuff as you do in life. Now, the first solution is simple. It contains 4 letters. S-T-O-P. Stop! Just stop swearing. Don't do it anymore. If you don't swear at all, then your kids will never hear you swear, and so in the fear of God, friends, be upstanding in the way you use language and how you live your life every second of every day, so that you can model for others how to be incredibly righteous. And your kids will never learn anything bad from you. The same goes for other things like drinking alcohol. You never do it. Your kids will never see you do it, and they'll never learn how. I mean, hello? It's that simple? Okay. Let's not be so flip for a second. Get out of my holy pastor persona. Friends, really remember God's grace and try to live in it, knowing that God has forgiven you and will forgive you when necessary, but He has also given you the power to do good and model good. And follow 3 simple rules. Do no harm, do good, and be attentive to loving God with your life. And your kids and others will learn that from you too. Maybe they'll learn some bad stuff along the way because you can't be perfect all the time. But if you learn how to be full of love, full of God's love through God's grace, then your kids will learn all the best stuff about God, most of all. Now, I've also taken to using replacement words and phrases like frick, or oh my goodness, or geez almighty, or even crud muffins. I tell you, I get a kick out of hearing my oldest son say, "Oh my goodness!" Just don't use the Lord's name in vain and say, "Oh my God." But if you do, I refer you back to the holy pastor doing stuff, teaching you how to pray. Which brings me straight to the second solution, and back to my ridiculous holy pastor persona. Let me put it on for a second. Okay, if you happen to swear in front of your kids, teach them some solid fear and trembling. Catch yourself in the act, and then pray to God for forgiveness. But obviously God doesn't forgive you that easily for messing up. So you need to hit yourself over the head a few times in penance to earn God's forgiveness. Obviously, that's how God works. Give your head a few solid slaps with a hard-covered book. And when your kids see you do that a few times, well, they will learn how not to swear, even if you never learn. They'll be so really terrified that they won't want to curse. Well done. That's how you curse around children the holy way. So we'll see you next time on how to change a bike tire. For now, Holy Pastor is off to his second job, finally learning how to change a bike tire so I can talk about it knowledgeably for you next time.
Done? Is it done? Is it done?